Hey, what's up everyone? I'm just gonna move my... It's so weird not streaming on my own setup. Ah, there we go. Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Gear Solid 2 90%.
So today we're going to have Apache playing very easy difficulty. This is kind of a more recent trend among most of the runners, and Apache included, kind of came in here months ago and started to learn the run, and other people like D-Limes and Mac, they've all been running very easy pretty heavily and been really heavily optimized, and the times are getting really close.
It's moved quickly since October. When Mac had the record, it's really moved on since then, and more is being stripped out of the run all the time. It's getting faster and faster, and recently you yourself, Tyler, just got a 103.
Oh yes, correct. Yeah,
and we think we can push it even further. We think a 102 is possible now as well. So
for sure.
I'm gonna get started here.
All right, you ready to go? All right.
Excuse the mashing. There is an absolute ton of mashing in this game, and it really does save so much time optimizing how well you mash the codecs as well. Especially this first one.
So the main difference from this kind of difficulty run compared to something like normal or European Extreme is that it's more heavily emphasized on the movements that you do throughout the game. For example, you get a alert at one screen and you go to the next screen and it's instantly gone. So it's more so getting through the rooms as fast as possible rather than having to worry about the alerts. And unfortunately, Apache will get knocked down here, but won't be that big of a deal. It's just a minor setback.
I held the thumbstick on my controller so my gun wouldn't fire. See, when I do the control schemes for this game, I actually remove that option, so you can never hold the thumbstick down accidentally. It doesn't actually prevent your gun from firing. But after I put the new V-Fix on, I forgot to change it back. So the main difference...
Speaking of...
Oh, sorry, man. With very easy, alerts don't stick between screens. So in this, the any percent run, especially in the tanker, you take a lot of alerts in the tanker. The fastest way to get through the screen is just run past the camera or run past the guard and take the alert, because you can take it straight off again in the next screen.
Now, speaking of V's fix, though, now this fight is going on. Recently, there's been a lot of debate and a lot of issues with some of the PC runners because they've had credits freezes playing on V's fix, and it seems that the most recent update has finally gotten rid of that problem that some were having. Yeah, so now it seems to be very consistent against all different kinds of platforms, because there's only a small select few people having the problems, and you'll know if it was hardware dependent or what, but it seems to have finally been fixed. Nice Olga fight.
It really looks like it has been fixed. I know everyone's had, a credit freeze here and there, but I had them every single time. It was like a 99% chance of credit freeze. So playing this game or running this game has been really frustrating for a while. So I'm really happy that it has been fixed.
Yeah, now PC being one of the more popular ones to actually run, because it's a bit easier to actually get a copy of this game, and also it's much easier to actually capture compared to, say, consoles. So it's very good that we finally have the opportunity to just be consistent and just always have this completed run rather than it just being just forfeited at the very end due to credits freeze.
Or fighting for that credit freeze world record. So I was making my way through the tanker now to take pictures of Metal Gear. I'm really having a problem with that thumbstick, I just need to keep it in mind, I can't press the thumbstick down or my gun won't fire.
So right there you saw him menu to the camera and then select off of it. The reason why he did that is that later on he's going to be doing a little glitch that involves using the camera itself, so it's best to try to do your menus whenever you are moving and not whenever you're just like, running in place or whatever. So whenever you're rolling downstairs or like cartwheeling later on, you want to try to menu during those times because then you won't lose your momentum.
Yeah, obviously anytime you bring up the menu, it's going to make your character, bring your character to a complete standstill. So we always try and do that for any time we menu or any time we codec, and sometimes into some of the cutscenes in the game as well. Just one sensor on there. I'm very easy, but I had to be careful not to blow up the ship there.
Yeah, very different compared to normal in the other difficulties where there's 3 sensors. On very easy, there's only 1, so it's a bit of a curveball essentially. It's very strange.
You are ordered to continue manning your posts until that time.
See, even that's another thing that was changed in VE only recently. Waiting until the last second to shoot the guard and then walking through him. Like, these minor optimizations that have come to VE only in the last couple of months. I really need that ammo. Someone's put in the comments that it's just me as a stream and just a black screen. I really hope not.
No, the stream is live. It must be him. I can see it just fine. But yeah, best just to press F5 and refresh the stream. So this car rush fight is a bit tricky. The main thing for this difficulty is that you just want to mash, lethally killing them. That's the fastest way to go about it. Normally you would
shooting the guard in the back is massive.
Yeah, normally you'd like to trank them on the other difficulties, but for this one specifically, you just want to spam. And there's a little visual cue that you can use for those 3 headshots, but unfortunately, the Apache missed it just a little bit, but still quite fast, so it's not bad.
I let go of my first person view.
So right here, we're going to be setting up the ladder glitch. This is why we equipped the camera earlier and do a little punch buffer going onto the ladder itself, and then various number of inputs. You can go straight down if you can recover. Nope.
Press it too quickly. So it's always a danger with the ladder glitch of going out of bounds. If you miss any of the inputs, you're gonna have Snake out of bounds in like kind of like a freeze.
There you go, second try. Good job.
It's something it takes a while to get used to. The input's quite precise. And it's my ultimate nemesis, hold 2.
Freeze. Yeah, this one you just have to follow kind of a straight line and just hold up guards, and have to be a little bit careful, as if you are too careless you can bump into one of the guards and then you get spotted immediately, but thankfully you got through that pretty quickly, and now I'm going to be taking photos of Metal Gear.
Going to take 4 pictures of Metal Gear, and we need to get the all-important Marines logo, so I'm just going to get that now. There we go, got it.
Yeah, so the weird thing about the Marines logo is that guess what hitbox for it is very kind of ambiguous, and it's very strange in where the game will actually count for the Marines lettering, and you can actually get it from that one spot right there. So normally you'd see people place casually and you have to walk all the way over to where the actual Marines lettering is over by the wing, but it actually will just count if you just stand in place right behind the computer and aim right around there.
It will even count if you take it from behind the container. It's as if the container isn't even there.
Yep.
So the hitboxes went too strategically placed. But that's the end of time code.
Now, playing, we have a little mix-up here. We have a different character, controls a bit differently, and looks fairly different. This is Raiden. It's much more speedrunner-friendly due to his movement being cartwheel, and Snakes is just rolling, which is only really good for going up and down stairs and for certain strats. But for Raiden here, you want to cartwheel during most straightaways you can, and in places where it is wise to, because cartwheeling is faster than just regular running. So
it's faster as long as you use it wisely, and you know, if it can lose your time just as much as it gains your time. Shout out to
for sure, for sure.
It's a blessing and a curse, and it's something you can always improve at. You can always get better riding movement.
So recent discovery here for this room is that caution actually makes the elevator come down faster for whatever reason. So normally you would want to kill all these guards just if you're on a lethal playthrough, but for here you actually want to get the caution, and you actually save about a second or so.
Yes, a second. The strat used to be choke the guard out as soon as he gets up, and now we let him call in the radio. Tyler actually found that
by complete accident.
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, like think I was going to run it and I was messing around. I'm like, let me get a caution here just for fun, and then I got a gold split. I'm like, oh, all right. And then I had a couple people look into it, and they're like, yep, for whatever reason, it is faster just to get a caution here. The elevator actually comes down faster, so that's a nice little lazy time save, I guess.
And again, it's like VE, we're always finding things. You know, very easy, we're still finding new things now. As long as I've been playing, you know, since October, since I've been playing the game, new things coming up all the time. Random little 1 second time saves. You know, D-Limes is trying to remove everything from the run. No cardboard box, no this, no that. He was talking recently about doing bomb diffusal without an M9, so who knows what the future holds for this run. Interesting to note, you actually save your menu from the tanker to plant. So we use previous menuing, which means whatever you had on last, when you press R2, it will bring up the previous equipped item, which is not on by default. And if you have the M9 as your secondary in tanker, when you start plant, you can bring it up by just tapping R2, so you don't have the menu, and you can shoot that guard with it there.
One thing to note is that by tranking a guard just once anywhere, it will instantly knock him out on this difficulty as well. So see a lot of just running shots from the M9 just to quickly trank guards.
Yeah, the auto aim comes in really handy as well. To roll through the codec there as well. To you never want to give up movement for something like that.
Yeah, doors open. You want to try and take your opportunity to actually just roll through anyway. So time a door's opening, if you can, you want to try and roll through it, going into load zones and such.
Coming up on Stillman now, he's going to teach me how to defuse some bombs.
Yes, the beginning of the plan is very slow paced, not a lot to do. It's a lot of rehashing and just telling of the actual story, but so once we actually talk to Stillman and we get the coolant spray, the real plant section actually begins. This is all just really like a training session or just a little rehash of like tutorial segments. But now that we have the coolant spray, the main objective is to go around all of these struts and defuse bombs, since there's a crazy guy called Fatman who planted bombs all around here. So we have to go, and we're going to go in clockwise over here. So we're going to go to strut D first. And then all the way back and eventually land back at C, and then we'll be done.
Yeah, there's another small optimization, and I think this is correct. You do one menu at the start of bomb defusal in VE, and then you never menu again until Fatman. And I think this is the only difficulty where that actually happens. The rest you'd have to bring up various items as you're going through the run.
Perhaps. I think normally you have to use chaff once, if but it's been a while since I ran normal, but...
Yeah, you do.
This guy's going to see us, but Apache's going to spray him, just kind of stun him. One other useful thing for the coolant spray is just doing that to actually stun the guard, because they'll have to like wave their hand for a second, as you see, just tranks him and goes about his day. And the backup unit will actually spawn, I believe, in the upstairs on the east side, so we're going to completely avoid them right here. We're not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get the alert, I think it's the top west side they come from.
Oh,
So
sorry, yeah, top west.
There's just no chance that they'll touch you, even if you do get an alert there. But after the codec, you have like kind of a shootout with the guard, because you can menu the M9 fast enough and shoot him before he shoots you. So I like to have like a duel with him every time I do the run. But he can win as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, even if he does shoot you, you get the alert. The backup unit's nowhere near.
Now, on certain difficulties, there would be one bomb downstairs than the actual parcel room, but for this one, just the regular bomb spot right underneath the Harrier. After we get this little codec section, we'd have to go all the way over, across the helipad, and just spray underneath the Harrier.
And there's a guard used for timing on the way out to let you know how fast you're going. If he sees you, you're slow. But we didn't get seen there, so that's a bonus. to be careful there because my movement's not too great today. You can go into prone if you try and roll down the stairs too early there. I don't know why, but it's nothing to do with dead zones. It's literally where you stood on the top floor.
Up for the EF bridge. There's some claymores planted here, and I believe Apache's picking up the claymore whenever he's going back the other way, right? You're gonna pick up the claymore?
Yeah, for safety, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, not only just for safety, but that also allows you to actually get some better lines as well, and you can cut the corner a bit more as well, so more so than just for safety, but just also just making things faster. But the main benefit is that you would roll on top of it and then do what we call a coolant rise, which you saw Apache do that at the top of Shred A. We've seen that whenever he goes to Shred A, and he'll be doing that quite a bit. Scar is gonna just not even see us. It's gonna move about our day.
It's the enemy.
I really regret not
Oh,
sorting
no.
my thumbstick before I played. See, when I'm playing, I like tends to clench in, like my left hand's like really tight against the thumbstick, so it's generally pushed the whole game. And if for some reason they've made it so your gun won't fire if you're holding in the thumbstick. I've no idea why. There's no like usage of it at any point during the run. And as I say, I normally turn it off, but when you go into the settings menu, it automatically comes back on again.
So right here, see him go to the coolant spray, and then begin to rise up, and then go back out of it, and that cancels the actual full animation of him getting up, and it's a bit faster as well. This was found many, many years ago. I can't exactly remember who found it, but this has been known since at least 2010. It's been known for a while.
Yeah,
so.
someone, I think it may have been you or someone else from MGSR recently said the first example they can find of someone mentioning coolant rise is 2009.
Like yeah, it was really old.
It's a super old glitch, but yeah, it does save
a bit of time.
All kinds of time in the run.
Get the call from Rose after you defuse a certain number of bombs. She'll always call you in the next room afterwards. And I only have 2 bombs left. We have Strat B and then Strat C. This one's a bit straightforward. I'm gonna be tranking the guard here in the hallway, so that whenever we actually come back here, because we have to backtrack to the Strat A docks after we're done defusing C, and then he's not gonna be in the way, so that'll make things a little bit easier for us.
There's during up to Bonfield and during Bonfield, there's so many like long codecs. They just love to call Raiden. So he's doing it. He's trying to do his job. He's trying to do a job as best he can, and just constant barrage of phone calls.
Yeah, it's just the second to last bomb defusal is the one where they explain about a bunch of story stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on there specifically. So that's why the second to last bomb always have a longer codec, because they have to talk about the story. I believe that's whenever they're talking about another Fat Man bomb, or it's like there's like something bigger planned here, and to no surprise, grabbing sensor B and defusing the last bomb, find out we have to defuse one more bomb at the bottom of Shred A. So
yes, we grab sensor B there before defusing the bomb to avoid a codec call, so it's a little bit faster.
yeah, and instead you would get the codec call outside, and the timer would actually start outside. So
I love this bridge. On the way through, we took an alert and tranked that guard there. Now this time the Cypher's going to see us again, and we'll take an alert, but there's no guard. It's just the one napping at the top. So, that's all they could spring for, is just one guard on duty there.
and of course with the next room is just gone anyway. So
If they got that $30 billion, then they would have been able to do more. But
low budget.
so yeah, we've only got 400 seconds to get to the bottom of Strat A. We may not make it.
Yeah, with the increased difficulty, they also increase the amount of time it actually takes you to get over there, which is rather interesting, because I believe towards the end of the game, whenever we have to go from Strat E to the Shell 1 core and go to the elevator, I think they give you about 1,200 seconds, I believe, which is an outrageous amount of time. That's like, it's just, you have to be like trying not to get over there at that point.
It's just 3 screens.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be like really trying hard to not get over there. So yeah, 20 seconds in this game. I think they hold your hand a little bit too much. Like for right there, 1200 seconds is outrageous in my opinion.
My theory is it was 2001. They had no idea how bad people would be at games.
I mean, people were good at games back in 2001, but I mean, come on, they're acting like I don't know, just this seems a little much. And the bomb's gonna be over here underneath the submarine.
And they get the famous jump into the water here. I know. If you stand too close when you defuse that bomb, Raiden just leaps into the water after the codec call. I don't know why. Maybe it changes your hitbox, something like that, but...
Just the direction you're facing the water, so you just want to be careful and make sure you're not facing directly in front of the pool.
Yeah. This is a tough boss fight. A lot of line on the floor.
Yeah, so for this boss, we wanted to destroy the forklift pretty much as soon as possible, and then, if that possible, just the other surroundings. And once she blows up the forklift, then the fight's gonna be a little bit longer. On European Extreme, the forklift gets blown up immediately due to our strats, so it's not that big of a deal, but for the other difficulties, it was found out months ago that blowing up the forklift first does matter, and I don't know if it makes too much of a difference about her blowing up other things, but I know for sure the forklift is like the main thing you want to worry for.
There seems to be like 5 seconds of leeway no matter how you do this fight, of when it will end. So she calls the elevator in after a number of shots, she'll fire one more and reload, that'll happen every time. And then I'm going to manipulate it, keep rolling. I'm going to manipulate it to destroy this environment. I believe it ends the fight quicker because she will destroy it at the end when she does her ending sequence. So if I get it to destroy it now, she won't have to do that. Her go to fight will be faster, but it may or may not save time. It's the end of watching. I think the biggest
it's kind of like an anti-boss, so you don't really do much, and like the whole point of the boss is just to survive, and especially for this difficulty, it's rather simple.
Although I have died to her on VE, and she has to hit you 5 times with the railgun.
Alright, so now we were informed that Fat Man is on the roof of Shorty with yet another bomb, so we have to go all the way over there. We have 500 seconds to do it, which is a bit better. I'll try and grab this chaff grenade. Nice grab. Yeah, there's a claymore sitting right underneath it, so you have to be very careful in trying to pick it up without blowing yourself up.
There are safer chaff grenades to grab. There's one on the BC connecting bridge, but it's not...
But that one's just faster, yeah.
It's like you lose 2.5 seconds to grab the one on the BC bridge, or you might lose 2.5 seconds to the one we just got there if you run into the claymore. A little menu optimization I did as well. I ended the fortune fight on the coolant spray, so I had my M9 without menu into it as soon as I leave the fight. So now I have M9 and nothing. That's what Tyler was talking about before. I'm going to grab the claymore by rolling onto it. It's nice and quick, and as Tyler said, it clears up. It makes your lines a bit neater later, because you don't have to avoid it anymore.
I think at that point, well, before EF, you'd want to menu to the coolant, so you can do the coolant rise, just make that EF bridge a bit faster, because you have to be to the coolant anyway. So I think in the future you should at F menu to the coolant as well, so you can do the coolant rise whenever you get the claymore.
We need the M9 for... Oh, do you mean just menu?
Have M9 plus coolant in your inventory, since you're going to be needing the M9 coolant anyway. Or sorry, since you're going to be needing the coolant anyway, you may as well get the coolant in Strut F, and then you can do the coolant rise for the EF bridge, for that claymore if you're going to pick it up. Yeah, so you're using the menu right now. That was small though, it's not that big a deal.
Plus I want the SOCOM for this fight, but... And if I'm on nothing, it gives it me.
Yeah. Batman's gonna be very simple to beat. Have to just knock him down, I believe, twice.
Yeah, just twice.
Yeah. Don't want to get away from you though, because his movement can be quite erratic, and he can just run around just aimlessly. But luckily, he's staying still and very quick defeat. And last bomb is defused.
You really don't want to chase him for long. The fight can get away from you on VA, and you can lose a ton of time if you let him get away from you, if you let him get out of your sights, or if you hold the thumbstick and you go on fire.
Now the final bomb, promised this time for the entire run, that is the final. And I was like, oh, one more bomb, but this one's actually the last bomb. This is ending the bomb disposal section now, essentially. Now we are going to be meeting up with the ninja, who's going to give us a disguise, and we are tasked with completing our disguise by finding the AK, which luckily on VE is located right inside the Shell 1 core. So normally you have to go to the bottom of Strat F and pick it up there, but for whatever reason on VE they're like, hey, just pick it up in the core.
Yeah, and it's not said anywhere. I mean, when I started playing in October, Mac had the record, and his record, he went to Strut F to get the AK, and
yeah, that's before it was realized. But yeah.
So yeah, so all the no one knew who was running the game, and all the codec calls you get, things like that, tell you need to go to Strut F, and it isn't mentioned anywhere that on VE it's in the Shell 1 bottom of the Shell 1 core.
I believe the person that actually found that was Sparty. He was doing VE dog tags and like he just randomly knew. It was like, oh yeah, the AK's in here by the way, and like, you know, Sparty doesn't even run VE, and it's just kind of funny how like a non-VE runner just happens to just find this for like
a huge time save.
Yeah, this is like a 30-second time save essentially.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I wish it would spawn here on other difficulties, but I believe there's more cameras anyway, so it'd be... Actually, no, there's not more cameras in that way, but it'd be very helpful if this was on other difficulties as well. And I believe only on Substance and HD Collection does this happen. On Sons of Liberty, VE, which is, by the way, really terrible, does not spawn there at all.
I don't think it does in NTSC, but it does in PAL.
I haven't tested that.
Because on I've run it on PAL. It
Rip. Alright, so the reason why we have to disguise ourselves here is that we have to go find the information where the president is being held, and one guy knows that, and he's in the hostage room. His name is Richard Ames, but the only way we can interact with him is with the directional microphone, and he has a pacemaker. Although, what they should have told you is that, you know, the guy's got a mullet. He's the only one in there with a mullet, so that'd just be a much easier description than find the guy with a pacemaker. It just makes you go on this, you know, round trip of trying to find some guy named Ames whenever, you know, he's just a very distinct mullet wearing dude, and depending on the time of your computer or the time in your console, you can actually get a certain spawn seed for the hostage room where you'll have either a bunch of old ladies, you'll have a bunch of Jennifers and such, so
and I think I do
very
have,
interesting.
I think I do have the old men as well. But I won't necessarily get in there. But Ames' location is random. It's one of the few instances of RNG in the run. And VE is at the point where if you want the world record, you're gonna need a really good Ames.
I believe mine was on this first row here somewhere. It was fairly decent.
And this is what we call a terrible Ames.
Your aims, aren't you?
Oh yeah, the very top left is the worst spot, especially right by the stage. So on other difficulties, there would be a guard on the stage, and you'd have to either wait for the guards to actually turn around, or you'd have to do a glitch like I did during my GDQ run, where you'd have to do a punch kick and then go into the D mic. So yeah, that's probably one of the worst spots for him to spawn in, unfortunately.
And by far the slowest. So interaction with certain objects in this game gives you invincibility frames. So like here, if I touch the elevator as I'm being shot, I get invincibility and I don't take the bullet from that guard.
I have an unknown target.
Did you make that room, Tyler? Did you do that?
What room?
The room after Ames where you use the elevator for invulnerability. Was that your idea? Or? I'm sure I got that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Probably was. I don't know. Perhaps.
So now we're done with Shell 1. We need a sniper rifle, and this doesn't spawn anywhere convenient for us on this mode. We do have to go into Strut F to get it. PSG1, which we're going to use to take out the sensors on the Shell 1-2 bridge. D Limes is claiming it.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You can have it. I mean, you have to look at my past VE runs and see if I was doing it. This is like before you guys had joined, because it was just me and Mac really, and Tino a little bit, but before you guys joined in, it was just me versus Mac. Yeah, I think the next biggest time save is to find out if the PSG-1 spawns anywhere else besides F, like if it's in Shell 1 core or if it's in Strat E, Strat D, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a...
Yeah. There's been various testing, and you cannot SOCOM the Cypher. You can only SOCOM the Cypher if it's on hard and above where there's 2 of them. But there, yeah, so there's one that's like further away, there's one closer to you. You can only get the one that's closer to you, and the one that's on very easy is the one that's farther away from you.
And not only can you not get it, but even if you could get past that part with a sniper, if you go to Vamp 2 without a sniper, it just instantly kills you. The game won't.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Well, at that point, you could get the PSG-1T going into. You have to not do the swim glitch. You have to just swim and get the PSG-1T on the way there. Then I guess. I wonder if it does it then. Also, another thing is that on VE, do not have to use the Pentasmin. So just use the C to pick it up.
Completely still.
Yep.
Hardest boss on VE.
Alright, so for this one, Apache is going to be trying to go for the 5+1 shot Harrier. So if you're familiar with certain other ones, you'll see 5-shot Harrier, but difference is that on these difficulties you get a little cutscene. You have to skip it, and then you have to time your shot correctly, and then you get a little hook shot with the stinger.
Nope.
Nope. Ah, unfortunate. Oh, didn't even get the 5-shot.
Let me get the +1. Harrier's beast. I mean, the Harrier is beast. I practiced this all day as well. You have such limited time to get the shots in. Even being slow with your first shot, you sort of lose the cycle to get the 5+1.
Yeah, this fight can go a lot of different ways, but for the ideal situation, the fight would have ended right there if he would have gotten some of his earlier shots, unfortunately, but still going to be finishing it rather quickly here.
I'll take it.
Yeah, doing it before he goes to the missile spam is always decent.
Yeah, it's not even that long ago I would have considered that an extremely fast Harrier, but you know, time's moved on. Right, you found the 5+1 Harrier, which is extremely fast, and here I've missed it.
Oh, yeah, you were cartwheeling too early and you went too far to the left.
Yeah, way too early. It's a leap of faith.
Good old leap of faith.
Rip, guys, rip. No.
Answer me.
It's okay, 3rd time's the charm.
Jack. No, this isn't happening. Jack.
You're rolling too early. You just gotta roll a little bit later.
You know, I've got to level with you. I haven't missed this in months, and today as I was practicing, I think something's broken. Something's broken. But yeah, that's the leap of faith. First try, guys.
Woohoo, for sure.
It's not a hard trick. There's
You have to
even
know when to roll.
Yeah, there's even markings on the ground that sort of tell you when to go. But that's how not to do the leap of faith, I guess. But I think
He knows that there's no guards here.
Yeah, another difficulty is you have to wear the BDU to...
Yeah. This one there's no guards, so you just don't even worry about it.
Right here I'm going to get spotted by this guard on purpose. Because there's a little cutscene after you get round this corner that won't play if you're in alert, and obviously I throw the chat grenade to prevent the Cyphers from shooting me as well. Right there I'm switching items quickly. It makes you shuffle a little bit faster. Or a lot of bit faster.
Yeah. Canceling the animation of you just walking along there, and just by spamming it just cancels it, so it makes it a bit faster. You do that while you're also crawling as well. But it's not as useful, and not used as much.
I think it would have a use if...
Cool and Rise wasn't a thing?
Yeah,
for sure.
A.
Yeah, for sure. The old Shred A is you would do that, like, before Coolant Rise was like a thing, or like if they didn't do Coolant Rise, like they would just do that and go behind the actual pipe.
Right there, I turn my camera during the D-mic, so I'm facing the way I want to go when I leave. I don't know if it's faster, but it doesn't cost anything to do.
Never seen that.
Now I'm going to make my way to get the remote-controlled missile to Nikita, so I can free the president. A little bit of a callback to Metal Gear 1. It's certainly not the only one in the game.
There's a lot of instances where it's a callback to MGS1 for sure. Especially given the story of the game is supposed to kind of emulate the events of Shadow Moses, so not a surprise that there's some certain sections that are very similar.
Controller.
And of course, the Nikita is very close by compared to where it would normally be. Is a bit further down, and you have to kind of puzzle your way through. But on very easy, it's literally just right in front of you, so they're just kind of handing it to you.
It's another just instance of hand-holding they give you in VE. It's almost like a different game with where they put everything. Even this section on higher difficulties, you have to go further with the remote controlled missile. It's gated off. The vent that you shoot through is all gated off differently. Longest cutscene in the game, I believe. Or longest instance of, or longest set of codecs and cutscenes.
Either this or the Ninja, yeah, for sure. It's up there.
Colonel also says, I'm sorry to hear that when you tell him the president dies as well. I think that got lost in the translation. It's like a weird thing to say.
I took these photos.
On the PC, when he says, I took these photos 2 years ago, it just shows like an image of Ray. But on the PAL version on the PlayStation 2, it shows an actual photograph that you took.
Yeah. I have to see other versions, like maybe I wasn't paying attention, but like whenever I was playing PAL Soul, I noticed, hey, that's pictures that I actually took in the game, so now I can't make the joke like I did at GDQ. It's like, oh, I remember this photo. This photo looks like trash. I didn't take this. So I have to investigate the other versions. That's a nice little added touch that Kojima put in. Hopefully that's in the other versions, and now is just overlooking it like a bigot.
You know, if that had been on the PC version, we'd have been able to manipulate that in the files and put whatever picture we want there, which would have been fun.
Gee.
Swimming section. I mean, even in the swimming section, the number of mines is reduced. There's only one here and then one before Emma. Whereas on high difficulties, there's a lot more. Coming up now on the best boss, Vamp. So Vamp on very easy. In Lethal, we used the Stinger to kill Vamp. So there's a timing we use to hit him multiple times with the Stinger in quick succession. And on very easy, it only takes 5 hits to kill. But if you mess up the timing for any of them, he'll just dive into the water, and on VE the quickest way to kill him is to just dive in after him, kill yourself and restart the fight, but fortunately I got the timing down. I was a little bit nervous there, I won't lie, with the way the run's gone. So now we're just going to move through and get Emma. So we were sent here to rescue Emma, which is Narcon's sister. And she'll be hiding in this locker. Normally, oh sorry, playing casually, you might have had to search through, and you can open all the lockers in there, but I played this game before, I do know where she is. Now begins the section of the game known as Emma abuse. From the moment you get Emma for this speedrun, you just bully her. We start by drowning her. Let me just get this right. Drowning her, choking her, leave her with a guard, and kick her out a door. I think that's right. I think I might have lost Tyler.
Why?
Oh, you just hadn't said anything in a while. I thought I'd lost
Oh,
you.
no. Oh. I'm just letting you do your thing, man. I'm still here. I'm always here.
Yeah, so it all starts off all nice. We're just holding hands with Emma, but from now on, the niceties have ended.
Yeah, she has a lot to talk about as far as Y2K and Arsenal gear and her involvement and such. So there's a bit of cutscenes before you actually start swimming again.
It's been a while since I played. Does she say that she is the one who prevented Y2K or something like that? It's like...
Something like that.
So normally during this section, because Emma has less lung capacity than you, and you notice her bar is much smaller than Ryden's, you would take breaks as you're swimming through, but we're not going to do that because we just don't have time to spare. So once your oxygen depletes, the health starts depleting. That's the drowning section of the game. At this point, outside the elevator, there's bugs. Emma doesn't like bugs, along with many other things. If you take her too close, she'll run off, so we just leave her as close as we can to them. I think the game recommends that you spray them with coolant, but we'll just choke her. And now this next trick's called teleportation. You can imagine who it was discovered by. We're just going to take Emma over here to this guard. He's kind of tired, so he's going to take a quick break and walk past him. Now the race is on to get out of the building essentially. He's going to spot Emma around here. Yeah.
Possible hostile sighted. Set back up.
I'll exit the building. When I go back in, Emma has conveniently teleported across close to the exit. And there's a trick here that saves essentially no time, about 2 or 3 seconds. Where if we push Emma out the door, she'll be a little bit further up and I won't have to hold her hand. And it's a trick you should never do in marathons, but D-Lime said to me, basically if I don't do it I'm soft. Oh no, I accidentally walked out the door, Lime. Sorry man. You know I would have done it too. But if we kick her out the door, it can soft lock the game. So, I mean, Tyler wasn't up for doing it at GDQ no matter how many times I asked him. He didn't even do it in the world record, to be fair. In Tyler's world record run is 103. He didn't do it, so if anyone wants the record for this game, you gotta push Emma. So now I'm just escorting Emma back to the computer lab. A few obstacles in the way. Start with this fire. Extinguish that. I'm going to equip the AK for later. Oh, my bad. I'm going to equip the AK for later. A couple of reasons. In this next room I can kill 2 guards with it, but it also allows me to menu to the sniper a little bit later as well. So this room's quite straightforward. I just get in line with these guards and kill them both like that. There's like a theme of fear with Emma. When you meet her, she's scared of water. You get through the water, she's scared of bugs. Then you get to here, scared of ladders. So this next bit's the sniping section, the oil fence. You've got to protect Emma as she makes her way across this fence here. And there's tons of ciphers and guards as well. We have to stand right here on this spot, otherwise Emma will fall. I'm not sure why, but if you don't stand in this spot, if you move around, or if you zoom in with your sniper rifle, Emma will fall and you'll lose something like 8 seconds waiting for it to get back up again. On VE, reduced number of ciphers, reduced number of guards as well, and they also appear in a different pattern, kind of like a slower and easier to deal with pattern. I'm going to stand here and hold R1, so as soon as my screen changes I know the codec's coming. It happens as soon as she gets into the middle of the first oil fence there. And then a guard up here on the left here, and then on the right. There's also, I think there's 16 seagulls in total. I'll kill them all. You can get them all. And I will get them all in a second because there is a little bit of time as soon as I've dealt with this. So I'll just count that. So the controller I use for this run is a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I would not recommend it. It's like its own game, it's like Duck Hunt. Take one more and then I get the codec.
Right. Do you actually enjoy abusing helpless animals?
Yes, I do, Colonel. So each time she gets into the middle of the fence, she'll have guards on the next strut up here. And you can actually call Snake and he'll shoot for you. Snake's over there. So if it wasn't easy enough on very easy, you can get Snake to do all the work as well. Although you do have to actually aim at the guards. If anyone finds a way to skip this section of the game, D-Limes will give you $1,000. True story. It's gotta be legit though. Yeah, he did. I've got video evidence, guys. You want a grand, easy grand, find a skip for this section of the game. No, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It gives you a bit of respite. And there's not much time you can lose on it. As long as you answer the codec correctly. Be aware of where everything is. Don't put Emma into an alert state. Don't let her fall over. Pretty straightforward. Just one more cipher to go and then that's the end of this section. We rescued Emma. We should be proud. We got this pentazamine. It's really useful. We're getting into the end game now. It's like kind of draws everything to a close, brings you to the last section of the game, which is to take Emma to the computer room, install a virus, destroy Arsenal gear. But this guy's going to get in our way. Vamp 2, if you use the stinger on Vamp like I did during the first fight, it actually counts as a kill, but it's not really a kill since he turns up later on in the game. Vamp 2 on VE, you really can't fail it. Even if you shoot Emma, it does barely any of her health, so you can just kind of spam the sniper rifle at him. A headshot's still faster, they say, but I've never tried aiming at his head. Save this last chaff grenade for the cypher here. Yeah, during this section of the game, you got, as you can see, you got 1,200 seconds to get from Strutty, where we just were, to this elevator. So they might have, they may have been going overboard a little bit. What we don't get to see during this cutscene is we've just been captured by Solidus and Ocelot, and now we're going to be tortured. Not ideal. But we get this part during the game where Solidus is going to torture us, and we've got a mash triangle, but on no difficulty do you have to press anything. Like you just let go of the controller,
me, don't you?
and he doesn't ever touch your health bar. So like right now.
High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered your memory?
And this is the same on European Extreme as well. He doesn't do any damage to you. So we've been captured. Fortunately, we're going to get rescued by Olga. But she's not going to provide us with any clothes.
You can't keep this
We'll
up.
find out that
They're bound
Olga's
to find you.
the cyborg
Listen,
ninja.
I'll free you in a little while. Brace yourself.
A little trick we do to get out of the torture chair quicker. Normally you wait for a little while and then you're called by Rose, but if you call her first, it lets you out of the chair immediately. So this cutscene, she would normally call you after a little bit, and then that'll let us out of the chair. Go make our way through the Jejunum now. This section of the game we're completely naked, and the guards are like extra. the Jejunum guards, the Tengus, they're just extra. At this point in the game starts freaking out a little bit as well.
There's somebody there.
The colonel tells you to turn off your computer, but we won't be doing that. If you don't answer that codec immediately after you come out in the Jejunum, you can't get past that guard. And now this section... I took the alert. That's unfortunate. You can take that guard out before the alert sequence is called. But I was a little bit slow. Twitch tends to say it's okay, it's in the game, it's in the game. We are going to see more of Raiden than we bargained for now. This section we're just waiting for 5 codec calls before we can move on. It's another waiting section that D-Lines will give you $1,000 for, and that's not just like one-time offer. It's all of them. So if you find a skip for the oil fence, $1,000 from D-Limes. Find a skip for this section, it's another $1,000. You could be making a fortune. That's the last codec call, and Snake will come to our rescue and give us some clothes and a sword. This part here, I'm just going to slash a couple of times, which starts the counter. You're supposed to be practicing with the sword before you move on, but it's just like a timer. I know, Python, I know. Turn the game off. It's a little bit of a wait. At this point you can actually knock Snake out, and if you like search his body, he'll give you a dog tag. So this next section is one of the few kind of, I wouldn't say it's a sequence break, but we're essentially skipping a portion of the game. So if I just get to the end of this section as quickly as possible, I'll be able to show you. You also get a ton of ammo at this point, so I can mow down these guards. If you do a punch kick combo on that door, it extends your hitbox to go into the load zone. Normally you would have to kill every guard in that room before you could move on. This part just ends when all the guards are dead. Nowhere out of bounds there, unfortunately. So we're just going to fire the stinger into the load zone to kill the Tengu as quickly as possible. You can sort of time your stinger fire, so as they come out of the door it doesn't get hit. Also if they go to the left or right, generally always gets killed in. It's just the one who drops down in the middle that's kind of harder to kill. Fish and mail, guys, we tried our best, but fishing's mailed.
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot discovered the
This cutscene we can't do anything with. We can't even pause the game. Just have to listen to Solidus talk.
To fight fire, creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's brother.
Hey, thanks. What does the deck say?
S3 stands
Appreciate that, man.
for Solid Snake Simulation. It's a development program to artificially reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior.
Yeah, easy grand. We're talking $3 at this point. If you skip this section, D-Lime's instantly put $1,000 into your bank account. What a guy.
Sound like someone you know, Jack? I'm sorry to see you reduced to one of the
We can't do anything here. You can't even pause the game or open the codec menu. It's nothing. You've just got to listen to this guy drone on. I mean, where even are we right now? Like,
your arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks.
you know, we can't.
I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase.
Where is this place?
As bait. Jack.
We're doing Metal Gear Solid 2 any percent or very easy.
Every day
It does look like the VR section from MGS1. It's even got the code. Look.
You ran from it.
Arsenal gear.
You've been led back
Excuse
to
me.
war by something
Twitch terms of service. So this is Metal Gear Ray fight. It's pretty straightforward on VE. I'll just kill those two quickly. Blink and you'll miss it.
Are you awake yet, Jack?
You only have to kill 3 rays on very easy. You only have to kill 3 rays.
I admit that
If the ray opens its mouth and you hit it with a stinger, it will immediately kill it. So the first 2, we kill them while they're screaming. And then let the 3rd one come on stage, shoot it in the leg, which will open its mouth, and then shoot it in the head. You can wait for it to water cannon you, and it will open its mouth if you stand at the right range. But it takes about the same time to shoot it in the leg. And you can shoot all 3 in the head from the stationary position, but it's very before they jump on the stage. But it's really precise.
Very difficult.
Yeah, I've never done it. And that's it. This is the final fight in just a second, after some more lengthy cutscenes and codecs. Probably my favourite codec of all time. Favourite cutscene of all time is this one at the end of the game here. I'll tell you my least favourite is the credits of this game. Especially now. I mean, what game can you fight the ex-president of the United States on top of Federal Hall with a sword?
Horizon, you do something pretty similar. Find another political figure who's like jacked up on NAND machines. So, guess Raiden just has a.
My controller's completely not responding. Like,
Might be because it's a pro controller.
it's never ever like on this bad before. Like then I wasn't even swinging. I was just holding the controller and it was doing it for me.
Good work, Jack. This is where it gets interesting. Let's go.
Just one more time and then we defeat them and win the game. There we go. That's Metal Gear Solid 2 any percent. Sorry about the mistakes. I had some issues with my controller.
Of course. This is where we first met.
Made some mistakes, that's for sure, guys.
Now. Today is the day.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing off the game.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming to do commentary with me as well.
Don't forget to follow this man at ApacheSmash. Link to his channel in the Twitch chat. Be sure to give him a follow. He pretty much always runs either GS2 or Oblivion, like 90% of the time. So if you like MGS2, you'll most likely be playing it, or Oblivion, or Rugrats. Take your choice.
He said all living things.
Yeah, and if you want to speedrun Metal Gear Solid or any Metal Gear Solid game, any of them, MetalGearSpeedrunners.com, and join the Discord.
You can find those below in the panels, both the website and the Discord invite. You can find those down below.
What kind of
Yeah. I don't know if this is a PB per se, because this is going off RTA.
It's not. This would be like a 108.
Compassion, sorrow, joy. We'll tell them everything together.
But I am gonna
proposal?
I'm gonna get that 104. I got a 104 the other day, and my credits froze. But fortunately, credit freeze is a thing of the past.
Credits freeze is dead. No longer a thing. Has been finally fixed. It's very good.
It is a good monumentous day. Monumentous day.
Did you want to watch through the credits and see your score, or are you okay with just ending here?
I'm cool to end here. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it.
And don't forget to follow this man on Twitch, ApacheSmash.
How did we fix credit freeze? D Limes gave someone $1,000. Obviously, that's how we fix all our problems.
With the news V's fix, which is what you use to have this game run. Well, one of the ways to actually play this game on modern PCs is through V's fix, and the latest V's fix pretty much fixes credits freeze. They also have integrated controller, works for, I believe, DualShock 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, I think. It's all like integrated. You'll have 360, Xbox One, I think. It's all like integrated. You'll have 360.
What's Raichu's special message? He said he's joining the vote for a special message.
Oh, he is?
He's in here.
Oh.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you guys when you were talking. Because that's rude.
What's the special message?
Well, I'm not going to say too much, but when we have a couple of people here, I will say, around 12 p.m. EST, I think. Tyler can correct me if I'm wrong. 12 p.m. EST, I think that's Vikings time zone.
Yes.
Come by the MGSR channel because we'll have a different type of stream, different from our regular scheduled programming. I'm not going to say what it is. It'll be a surprise.
Just find out.
But yeah, you should definitely come around 12 o'clock. We'll mention it in the Discord and on the Twitter machine. And there's another thing: follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter.
Should probably put that somewhere on the Twitch panel or something. Or is there a Twitter command?
No. Somebody should make that though.
I'll make
But
that.
yeah,
up.
it's just
If you have a Twitter, it's MG Speedrunners at MG Speedrunners.
yeah. Apache's doing better social media management than I am. But yeah, definitely pop down tomorrow. Oh, good blink. Pop in tomorrow, 12 o'clock EST, midday. Thanks Apache for your run. You're very good. And I'll let you finish up your goodbyes and what have you. And if you're done, then
I'm done. Thanks everyone.
okay. And if you're done, then
I'm done. Thanks everyone.
okay. And if you're done, then
I'm done.